update on Victor or anybody else who's sort of questionable or doubtful for?
Victor not available for the weekend. Just again, it was a minor hamstring, grade 1 hamstring issue that hopefully we're looking at 10 days to 2 weeks tops. So hopefully by next week he'll be ready to go again. Jorge's making his way back, starting to do some field work, which is nice to see. Adam Saldana, same thing, starting to do some work on the field, not quite yet integrated in the training environment. I think everybody else is all right. I'm not sure if I'm missing anyone. Carlos Harvey also on starting to do some field work again after the quad contusion. But I think everybody else is available.
Raheem came through, everything okay? Okay.
Yeah, it was more of I think he just got a stinger on the nerve in the lower leg, and once that started to subside, he was fine.
Has what Raheem's done this year, has he exceeded your expectations?
No, not really. I mean, you know, as I said when we got Ra, he's a very good soccer player. I think for him, it's just been here's your position, and becoming a little bit more in tune with his position, understanding the different reads throughout the course of the game, just tactically becoming more aware of that. You know, for us, it's a straight left back position, which he'd done a little bit of, but more of a left wing back and things like that. So in terms of what he's capable of doing with the ball and in the attack, none of that is surprising at all. I think, again, it's just continuing for him to stay focused on the defending side and getting those reads correct and keeping his concentration when he's in one-on-one defending moments. As I've said time and time again, he's a competitor, and he hates getting beat, and he hates giving up things. So that's the first sort of part of being a defender, is that you have that kind of pride. And so he has that in spades. So then it's just now, again, it's continuing to allow him experience and opportunities to work and see different things. Like this weekend, we could see something that looks like a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3, which maybe gives him a little bit of a different read than sometimes when he's playing against natural wingers. So these are experiences that are really good for him to continue to grow in the role.
In what ways has he advanced in terms of that defending, in terms of that know-how?
Yeah, I think his understanding of and his connection with his line, like his role when he's on the weak side and covering his center back and staying with his group, versus sometimes as a wing back, you don't necessarily have to be. You can just squeeze inside and cover some space. And so, again, his relationship with his back line has gotten better. I think sometimes on the strong side early in the season, we saw him really jam the pocket, but leave some space behind him. And now he's being more patient, staying with his line. And if they play in between, he'll step out versus going out there early. And so it's things like that again, that he's, I think he's progressing as he continues to get more repetition and more learning. And he sits down with Jason Bent after every game. They go through these scenarios to make sure that he's, you know, he's seeing these reads as they're happening in the game. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Nashville, what they've been able to put together the last couple of seasons?
Yeah, I mean, really stingy group. I mean, that's been the biggest thing, is they have a foundation of hard work, and they defend together. They don't give up much. This year has been hard for them because they're on the road so many games at the beginning of the year. Is always a challenge for everybody. But over the years, they've continued to add to their group. I mean, they've gotten a lot out of their budget. They've gotten players who have played every bit of their ability, and then they've added players like Mukhtar and Leal, who are special players who really, I think, generate their attacks and really get things going when they're in the counter attack, or when those guys pick up the ball facing the goal. They're a handful. But I think by and large, they're really organized, and everybody understands their role, and they fulfill their role for 90 minutes, and that's a hard team to beat no matter what. And you know, like I said, they tend to play with 5 in the back, which sometimes can just create this wall that you can't get through, especially with the size of their 3 center backs that make it tough in front of the goal. So the key is to try to move those guys, clear some of those spaces, try to open up some opportunities to finish, and then you got to manage the 2 guys in transition, and always know where Sapong or the striker is, because those guys are obviously proven to put things in the back of the net. But the 2, Leal and Mukhtar, are guys who create a lot for them.
The goal on Wednesday, the goal was nice, but what does Kevin Cabral have to do to break back into the starting lineup?
Yeah, Kev has been good. I just really gave Sam an opportunity, because I think Sam's been working hard. He's been really engaged. You know, one of the things I wanted from Sam this year, not to make this about Sam, and I'll get back to Kevin, but was just consistency, staying engaged in the game, not having these little emotional lapses where he disconnects from the group and things like that. And he's been better at that in training, so I wanted to get him a game. It wasn't so much that Kevin was doing something wrong. Obviously, we would love for Kevin to put the ball in the back of the net a little more in the final product, but we also have to keep trusting him and building that up. But Sam had been doing good good work, and I wanted to give Sam a run. Then he gets a couple assists, back-to-back games. So it's not so much that Kevin needs to do something. It's a little bit of a combination of, riding the guy who's doing a good job, and giving the other guy an opportunity to take a breath, maybe work on some things, and then come back in with maybe just a little more fire under himself. And he scored the other night, which is good for his confidence, and good for him in general. But I think, again, there's a lot of attacking power in this team, a lot of options. They all do it a little bit differently, which sometimes means just for tactical nuance. The other day I took Sam out at halftime. It wasn't because he did anything wrong. It's just because I put Efra in, who does it differently, and it was more of a tactical switch than it was because I didn't like what Sam was doing. So it's just something with this group that we have different looks and the ability to impact the game in different ways, and that's not always easy on them because they get upset, but they're starting to understand that that's part of the game and part of just trying to get an edge in different ways.
Thank you for the thorough answer.
Yes.
Greg, when you look at a player like Raheem and see that he can slide into a new position and meet what you're asking of him, what do you, I guess, see in him and players like that who you can move around the pitch and they can rise to the occasion?
Yeah, I mean, I think two things that are there. He's a good soccer player, first and foremost, and two, he's competitive. Those two things matter. If you can do that, and he's obviously has good technique and all those kinds of things, but if you have those things, then you can do a lot of different things, So with Ra, he's done a little bit of everything. He's just not done a lot of one thing. And so for us, it was take those skill set, take that ability that he has, and help him become a master of something and a position, and really understand the functions of that position and how they evolve in different types of games and against different tactical setups, things like that, and different players. But because he's a competitor, because he's a good soccer player, because he has the technical side of it, it makes it a lot easier to work with him. And he's motivated to grow, to be something specific, and not just be a jack of all trades. So that comes with it too. The motivation to be great at something is important with all of that, and he's there. So.
How would you assess Costa's acclimation, both to his teammates, to the league, to the different challenges that are here, and what do you think is next for him? What is he on the cusp of?
Yeah, I think his acclimation for a lot of it has been good. He's really, I said this last week, he's really observant, and he takes a lot of things in. If you sit down and talk with him, he really actually understands his players and his teammates that he's working with. He understands their nuances on the field. He understands kind of who they are. For me, that comes from a player who has played in other countries where they don't necessarily speak the language, and they've learned how to be very perceptive of everything around him. And I've seen a lot of that for him, where he's just watching things, and I catch him just kind of watching and figuring out what's going on, and it's interesting. So I think he's acclimating and understanding his teammates. He certainly knows how we want to play. It's something that he's done in the past. So from there, I think the biggest thing for him now is just, again, it's been a stop-start, is to get his physical fitness up to the highest standard, it's the high-speed running, it's the sprinting, it's the recovering, it's doing it again time after time for 90 minutes is where we want to get him, and get him to a point that when he does that he's not feeling terrible the next 3 days, that he can bounce back and be ready to do it again. It's part of not having a proper preseason, is having to go through some of that. So it's incumbent upon us also to push him, but be patient in that way, and hope to get him into his best form as we arrive into May and into that part of the season. So I think a little bit of that is just continue to do that. But I think in terms of he's well liked in the group, he has a great demeanor and personality with the group. That's all been fantastic. So.
Speaking of May, you have your next Open Cup opponent. Your thoughts on California United?
Yeah, I think for us, it's another important game. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter in some ways who we play. We have to approach the game the same way. It's going to be away from home. Those games are always difficult. Doesn't matter what level the opponent is at. We have to respect the game. We have to come in and play with the right mentality in the game, and we have to try to turn the game into our vision and win the game. So as it relates to that, I'm sure it'll be interesting for them to play a team like the Galaxy. For us, we have to go in and conduct business, and we have to do it in the way we approach every single game. We won't cut any corners on it or anything. It's respecting them and approaching the game in the right way. The biggest issue in that week is these games are really jammed together. I think we play Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday, so it's 3 games in a short time period. That'll be a real challenge too, in and of itself, for the week. So, all right. Anything else? Yeah.
A lot of fans, I guess, were surprised how many starters played Tuesday. Was that because you couldn't train with a bunch of G2 guys and sort of just want to keep things simple going into that game?
Yeah, I mean, I think, in terms of guys who played on the weekend, Julian and Ra were the only two guys who had started on the weekend before. Is that right? Can't ever think of anybody else because Ephra hadn't, Dayon hadn't, Kevin had not, Sasha, and what I like about the comment is that nobody knows who really our starters are and aren't, right? That's the better observation from the fans is they can't really determine who is our starters. Eric, it was his first time dressing up for us and playing 90 minutes, which was excellent. Nick hadn't played in a couple games, so he got out there. Ra and Jules were two guys who had started. That started again. So we tried to. It was interesting in talking to Landon after. He's like, man, your second group is as good as a lot of teams' first groups in some ways, and so it was a real challenge. Obviously, he didn't win the game, so it's easy to maybe say that, but we I do believe that there is a mix of guys who could be in the first team, second team. I think that's part of the beauty of how we've been able to build the roster, and it creates competition, but it also creates, as I said earlier, some tactical nuance sometimes. But when we get into these busy time periods, everybody has to be ready and step in. So we still are missing a little bit with Jorge out. We're missing a little bit of that two guys to be able to play that role on the left back, which is why Ra had to give us a few extra minutes. But by and large, everybody else was, pretty much rotated, I felt like. So.
Greg, sorry if I missed this. How's Victor's health?
Yeah, just at the beginning.
Okay.
He had a grade 1 hamstring. It wasn't major. We're looking at 10 days, 2 weeks. He's now a little bit over 7 days into it, I think. So it's hopefully in the next couple of days we'll see him on the field, and it'll just be a progression back in. Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's good. All right. Hello.
We good, Kevin? Are everyone good?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Hey, Jonathan, coming off of Chicago's performance, you guys mentioned it. Would you say there's a different embracing of team-first defense mindset this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think we spent a lot of time on team defending. It's not just a backline thing, it's what our shape is like out of possession and how we press, how we don't let teams through us, defending set pieces properly. And it takes all 11 players to keep clean sheets, and that's what we're finding more of now this season.
What did you see watching the guys in the U.S. Open Cup game against San Diego?
Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. It was my first experience seeing that tournament because obviously it wasn't running last season because of COVID. But yeah, I think it was a good opportunity for everyone to show what they can do, and it shows that we've got a strong and deep squad. And like the manager said, it's a tournament that we're looking to go far in. And yeah, hopefully it's kind of like a first opportunity to win a trophy, and that's what this club's about at the end of the day, is to win trophies.
This is, you of course grew up in the home of football, a country with so much tradition in it, and we're considered newcomers. But that tournament started in 1914, things like that. As you've been here and learned more about the history of the sport here, what kind of things have surprised you?
I didn't know that actually about the Open Cup, but I think nothing surprised me too much. Obviously, I had some experience of American soccer through my mum before, and I had a good idea. But in terms of the amount of people that turn out to stadiums, the atmospheres, obviously the level of the standard. Yeah, I mean, I've been here for over a year now, so it's kind of that surprise element's gone a little bit, and I'm just thoroughly enjoying being here. But when I first got here, I must say it was even the level of the younger, like the academy kids that come in and train with us, really surprised me how high that level was. So yeah, plenty of good surprises.
You guys have much chance to take a look at Nashville and what they're about attacking wise? Yeah,
we looked at a video of them this morning. They're obviously a good team. They went quite far last season. They have some strong attacking players, Mokhtar and Leal. Very quick, very good in transition. I think they play a lot for the counter attack and transition, and very strong off set pieces. So every game we go into, we're very well prepared. We have a good idea of the opposition and what their strengths and weaknesses. And at the end of the day, it's about not really looking too much at the opposition and maybe just concentrating more on ourselves, and hopefully that will be enough.
I know that you know about Kevin Hartman, your goalkeeper coach in his career in Major League Soccer. How is it working with him for the past year or so helped you become a better keeper?
Countless ways. He's made me think about the game in a different way, about how I can affect, not worrying just about myself, how I can affect more of the game around me and in front of me. Obviously, away from the pitch, he's a legend in the league and in this club. So he helped me settle in my first season. Even insights about what teams are like that we're playing against, or players, or just kind of some of the characteristics of the league. So he's been a massive help, and it's enjoyable working with him every day. So I must say I've enjoyed it. Yeah. Well.
You talk about adjusting. How better adjusted are you this year compared to when you first got here? I'm sure there's a level of it.
Yeah, I think I adjusted really well last season, but you're kind of, I think I just got, pre-season's important, and I kind of got a solid pre-season in last season. It was 6 weeks, and then I felt confident and good to go from the start of the season, and then just carried kind of that momentum. And then, you know, once the first season's out of the way, then the second season, at least I know about the league, about the conditions that we have to play in through the summer. That was kind of a shock as well. So I'm a bit more prepared for it now. And yeah, I guess this season we'll have more East Coast games, so a lot more travelling. So we get to see a little bit more of that. But otherwise, I've got a good grasp of what the league's about for sure.
Jonathan, do your parents get to come out to any games?
They haven't yet, but my mum's coming in August, so she's going to catch a couple games. She's going to see the game at the SoFi actually. Yeah, where we played Chivas. So that was good timing when that got announced. Yeah, because she's already booked her flight, so that'll be good. She'll get 2 games in.
Just tell her it might be a little rowdy.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Give her some bodyguards or something. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's good. It's exciting. All good.
Cool. Takeaways from the Open Cup game.
Yeah, you know, everybody's ready. It was a good game. Obviously, a strong team in the USL. They came to fight. They gave us a good game. You know, we had to play more in our half. Obviously, it's difficult to play with some different players, but I feel like we did very well. We played our game. We played across the channels like we want to do, like how we want to play. But everybody that came in played well, and we got the win, and we're on to the next round.
Derek told me after last match that at the beginning of this season, Greg kind of told you guys, you know, if you want to spot on this roster, you got to defend. I guess as a defender, what does that kind of mean to you and show to you?
Yeah, we don't want to concede goals. You know, we conceded a lot of goals last year, and that's one of our goals this year is to keep clean sheets. And I think we've done pretty good this year, not allowing teams to score as many goals as they did last year. You know, in order to win a championship, we got to win, and we got to not allow them to score. And we go out there, and you know I'm a right back, and I want to get forward, but my priority is to defend and help the team, and you know not concede any goals.
And Raheem, first season playing at left back, he's talked about playing more positions before, but just with how seamlessly he's kind of transitioned into your guys' back line, what have you seen from him?
He's crazy. I don't know. He just gets out of things that you don't even know he'll get out of. He's good. He's a team player. He just, you know, wherever the team needs him, he's going to play. Very good guy. He's a very good player. You know, he likes to get forward, and I think that's kind of one of our best attributes is our outside backs want to get forward. And yeah, we obviously got to work on defending because that's our goal this year. And Greg has spoken to both of us about you know, if he goes forward, I have to stay back, or if I go forward, he has to stay back. So we're working on that because we can't just leave our center backs to themselves.
Thank you.
Did you expect to go 90 against San Diego?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, for sure. I felt good. I felt comfortable. I'm young. I wanted to play. I wanted to play as many minutes as I can, as many games as I can. Obviously, I don't want to give up any minutes. But yeah, I feel good. I knew I was going to play.
Okay, so how do you sort of recover and regroup for Saturday when it's just another 90 minutes on the table?
Yeah, so our guys take care of us. Our staff takes care of us. You know, we came back, did treatment. The next day we came in, took care of our bodies. You know, we stayed inside the gym, did some yoga, did some stretching, did some massage therapists, and just stuff like that. You know, we obviously know we have a game on Saturday. Saturday. It's an important game. It's a team we haven't met before, and we're excited. We know they're going to come out strong, and you know, obviously we have to prepare, and we have to change our mindset to another team.
What do you see in them?
Yeah, they have good center backs. They have a good back line. You know, they don't concede many goals as well. We know how we want to play. We watch film on them and how we can destroy their attack or their defense. And you know, we know that they have three forwards that are good. You know, they like to get forward. They're crafty. They're fast. They're playmakers, and we got to just not allow that. We can't allow them to have time. And yeah, we're excited. We know it's going to be a good game, and you know, we're home, and our fans are going to help us.
In this last year and however far we are into this season, working with this coaching staff, in what ways have they changed the way you think about the game, and what ways do you think that they have put you on a course that is that maybe is a different course than you might have been on otherwise?
Yeah, so they've just allowed me to just kind of like, they know that my game is to be free, you know, to get forward, to get back. That's one of my strengths, is to be able to go attack and defend, you know. But they've kind of just settled me down, you know. I've learned a lot more when to go, you know, picking my times, not going every time, and, you know, helping the defense, you know, staying more compact, staying when we don't have the ball, staying defensively, paying attention, and they helped me out a lot, and they've helped out our group, and, you know, we want to win a championship, and this is what we're here for.
Greg was an outside back. Has he worked with you specifically on outside
Yeah, we
back?
have. Yeah, for sure. When I receiving the ball, you know, I work with all the coaches, Dan, but yeah, just receiving the ball, you know, not letting the ball get stuck on my foot, and not, you know, my first touch always has to go forward, and defensively, obviously, that's one of my biggest things that we've worked on this year, is just staying defensively compact, and you know, just staying strong, because like I said, we don't want to concede many goals this year, and that's our goal.
Does Dan work as much with the outside backs as he does with center backs?
Yeah, he works with the back line a lot. You know, we're one group, and we want to stay connected, and if we're together, then nothing can get past us.
You know, Dan should have been Defender of the Year in MLS's first season.
Yeah.
He was
Crazy.
He was spectacular. Yeah.
That's good. He's a very good coach. Very
He
good
came out of
coach.
a D3 school.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.